Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today I'm here with one of amazing ways of learning a language easily and efficiently. Learn language with podcast. And at the end of this video, I'll give you some address for incredibly amazing English podcasts. So if you're interested in, please bear with me and stay tuned. Let's get started. If you don't live in an English spoken country or whatever language do you want to learn, I think listening to the podcast is really a wonderful thing. Although watching videos, listening to music, all these things has its rules. We can't ignore their rules in a language acquisition. But in podcast phase, I think the person who speaks English is almost a native speakers. And the way they speaks in a podcast is real and natural. And listening to the podcast not only help you to increase your listening skill and speaking skills, but even you can learn whatever you want, in which part you want to be expert, which subject and topic you want to know about that. One of the benefits of podcasts are that you can listen it anytime, anywhere. I suggest you to listen to the podcast to talk about your favorite subject because you are familiar with that, and it will be so enjoyable for you because you know most of the contents, and it will encourage you to continue listening to those podcasts. But if you listen to something that you don't love, maybe politics, I hate politics, and you don't know anything about that, and you don't understand what they are saying. As I always say, try to choose materials on your level of language. Find in which level and stage of language you are. This is the problem and mistakes that most of the language learners make. And after a while, they put learning aside, and it's natural. They forget most of the things they have learned. And the next time when they come back to language learning because of different motivations, and they are trying to start from the scratch, from the beginning of learning a language, because they already forgot what they knew. So the tip number one is choosing podcast in your stage of language. Podcast Go is a really amazing podcast that I've ever seen. I will leave the link of this apps in the description box down below. Make sure to download it and listen to every topics that you love. One of the things that separate this app with others are it has thousands of podcasts around the world. There are over 800,000 episodes in this app. You can find it by categories like music, games, educations, and so on. One of the benefits of this podcast is once you download it, you can listen it everywhere in offline mode. You can even control the speed rates if you didn't understand what they say. And also you can set a time to turn off automatically. It starts from 5 minutes up to 90 minutes. If you're listening in your bed and the time you sleep, you can set a timer for that. So after downloading your favorite podcast, just put your headphones on and listen to the podcast. Remember, don't focus on every single words and phrases that you encounter with. It's okay if you miss some of them. First, listen to the entire of the podcast and then try to understand the concept of the subject. The next step is write the transcript. Most of the podcast has the transcribed versions too, but try to write the concept that you got from that podcast you listened. I don't recommend you the transcribed version of this podcast because writing beside listening is incredibly a powerful thing for boosting your listening comprehension. Beside that, it can develop your writing skills too. But if you are in a lower levels, there's no problem. You can use from transcribed versions. The next step, re-listen. Listening over and over again, it can help you to improve your listening skills and comprehensions. And if you remember, I said before, don't stick to every single words you encounter with. Now, if you re-listen it, you will understand what you missed. You will fill these gaps by re-listening. But if you don't have enough time for re-listening to the podcast, you can use from your free times, like when you are going to gym, you're going to school or maybe university, you're going to work, you can listen it and you are awake, or even when you are going to sleep. Allocate 30 minutes for re-listening every night before sleep. Number 4, summarize what you heard. Once you listened to the podcast a few times and are writing down the words and phrases, try to summarize it on your words, in your own language, and tell it for yourself or to your friends. This is the way you can use them in your real lives. And after a while, your listening skills will improve. And yeah, you can even learn a language by listening to the podcast. And if you ask for a successful English language learners, did you listen to the podcast? And I'm sure you will definitely hear the sound. Yes, because it's one of the best and dramatic way of learning a language and developing a language, particularly listening skills. The next one, compare your written text with original transcript. Once you've done all these steps I mentioned, it's time to compare your written text that you wrote with the original one. It will develop your writing, listening, and reading skills. So now, as I promised, I gave you 2 websites for finding and downloading English podcasts. The first one is BBC 6 Minute English, as you see, www.bbc6minuteenglish.com, and the second is VOA Learn English. If you're interested in American accent, the VOA Learn English is the best option for you. And for British accent, you can listen to BBC 6 Minute English. I will put both links in the description box. Thanks for watching the video up to end. If you are new here, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for my next video notification. And please motivate me with your likes and sharing my videos with your friends. Wish you the best.